Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, we're going to be talking about two countries in Europe and how it's going to probably affect the United States very soon, and what it all means for people and electricity and power and government control and all that jazz. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to run through the news stories real quick. Then we're going to hear a word from our sponsor. Then we're going to talk and updates on this event and why we're talking so much in Dallas and why we're putting this event on. And then we're going to talk about how it all affects everything that we're going to be seeing in the future. So let me share a couple of stories real quick and talk about this. So here we go. Germany. All right. We're going to talk about Germany's national gas problem. So Germany's national gas problem basically started when there were sanctions against Russia, and Russia decided to cut this pipeline for liquid natural gas. So what they didn't cut it, but they just turned it off, ratcheted it down, put it into service, whatever. But basically, Germany can't get their energy from Russia. And as our previous president mentioned, that's an issue for them, and it's going to affect their sovereignty, their nationality, their people, and it's going to be a major issue. So this was highlighted back in April over in Zero Hedge. So let me go to a couple quick other stories. In July, Germany's largest landlord started restricting heat at night. Now, that was a familiar story. I talked about what they did in Colorado with the thermostats. And they started looking at that in California as well. Hot water rationing, only able to turn their heat up to 17 degrees Celsius, which is 63 degrees Fahrenheit. That's in the city of Hamburg. And they have laws. They have laws for this. It's amazing that they have laws to say what a minimum temperature must be. And they said landlords must set the heating system so that a minimum temperature of between 20 and 22 C is achieved. 20 to 22 C is 68 to 72 degrees during the day. The state could temporarily lower the specifications for landlords, and they're discussing it with politicians. So basically, the government is setting how they're controlling how warm you can be at night or how cold you're going to be. July, Germany plans warm-up spaces in response to gas shortages. So now they have gas shortages. There's fuel issues. This is in the summer. Citizens across Germany are planning to use sports arenas and exhibition halls as warm-up spaces this winter. So they were already talking about this back in July. Let's see. Is there anything else in here? No, that's all I want to talk about that one. And then now, recently, this happened just this week. This is just their largest, one of the largest energy providers in Germany called Uniper. They were nationalized. So the government basically took control of them, and they said that we're going to set the prices. We're going to set how people get energy. We're going to control this. So Germany took over the utilities, and I've heard that they're looking at more than one, up to 5 in Germany. Now, how about across the English Channel? Let's go to the UK. So UK is having same problems. The UK has halved their winter energy bills for businesses. For the next 6 months, new British Prime Minister Liz Truss is limiting energy bills for all households for 2 years, up to a certain amount, and also for the next 6 months, they cut the energy for businesses for 6 months. So again, the government is intervening. So now they said that the national number for the next 2 years in Britain is going to be £2,500. Let's see. Nothing will change until October 1st. I just want to highlight that date again. We keep seeing that date. That's also the date in the UK where the paper money converts to the polymer money. The old paper $20 and $50 pound notes are going to have to be gone. You have to have the polymer one, which we think has tracking in it. And the dramatic state intervention will be funded by government borrowing, adding to the UK's already large debt pile. Total cost of the support will depend on the cost of energy on the international energy markets, which can be extremely volatile. So just to wrap this story up, so they're looking at a typical housing energy bill would be £2,500 pounds. Over the summer, it looked to be like 2,000. This is an annualized bill. Now, 2,500 pounds. What does that mean in US dollars? That's roughly 2,800 US dollars. That's almost $250 a month for your power bill. So I'm going to drop out of here, and I'm going to pause as we hear a word from our sponsor. Then I'm going to come back and talk about what all this means for people over in Europe, people in the US, and most of the Western world as we get towards more nationalization. Just a few days left until the big event down in Dallas, Texas, EconomicPreppers Live on October 8th. We have a few rooms left at the hotel. It's almost full. If you need a room, email the address below. But if you're not able to come out physically, we've got an even easier way to attend virtually. So let me share the screen real quick. Here's the website. It's EconomicPreppers.live. And you can see right at the top, you can't attend in person. Virtual tickets are now on sale for $150. So click Save Your Spot. And here you have 2 ticket options, live tickets and virtual tickets. The virtual ticket includes almost everything to live ticket. Can't give you lunch. Sorry, you're not going to be there. But we give you an electronic PDF of the workbook. You get a live stream access. You get the live AMA after the event to ask questions, a discounted VIP access to a future event, and access to a private Telegram group, and more that we're going to be adding. So if you scroll down just a little bit, you can see the live event is still $197 per ticket. The virtual ticket is $150. And if you're coming out, we have a VIP access for early breakfast and also a happy hour on Friday night for an extra $82. So we really hope to see you out there in Dallas in one way or another. Check out EconomicPreppers.live. Get your tickets. They're going fast, and we hope to see you down in Dallas. Okay, so I loved hearing about that, and I hope you're able to attend in Dallas either live or virtually. So I'm glad that we added that option. So getting back to this story, okay, and it's a big deal. And I know that it's like in the US, maybe you're like, who cares? But you're seeing it's already happening. I talked about the story. I'll post the link up here about the Colorado. They were controlling the thermostats. They're looking like they tell you also like when you can charge your car. In Europe and the US, they're looking at, most of the Western world is also looking at it too, but the Western world has an energy crunch because of the sanctions they imposed on places where they get their energy because they're not a sovereign country. They're not nationalized enough. They don't control their own energy supply. They are dependent upon other countries for their energy. So while other countries are saying, it's, we need to go green, or our countries and Europe as well are saying we need to go green. We need to get rid of like dependencies for petroleum and Russia and China and Iran and Saudi Arabia, all those countries that produce the oil and all those energies that these countries need. They've imposed sanctions on them. They can't get the energy supply. But the bottom line is this: the government is now going to be here. And what's the old line? Well, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Well, they're nationalizing your energy. So what that means is, while it sounds like it's good, it's just like when I mentioned that other fuels, that the thermostat bill where countries give you, the companies give you $50 or $100 to take the remote controlled thermostat, which sounds great until they take control of how warm you're going to be at night or how much energy you can use or shut off your AC now and then. Basically, you're giving up your control of your environments. You're now dependent upon the government, much like what is probably going to happen with CBDCs and universal basic income and possibly social credit scores. All those things all those things are going to create a dependency for citizens in the Western world on their governments. And so they're creating a problem of energy costing too much. They're providing a solution. So I think they create a problem, they provide solutions. The Hegelian dialect, I think, is the term. If you know the term, and I'm drawing a blank right now if I forgot that right or not, leave in the comments. But that's what it really is. They create a problem, then they provide a solution, and they look like heroes for doing it. Well, and also they create a dependency. So now everybody's like, well, my electric bill was too high. The government intervened. They capped it, but they created more debt. But I'm not worried about the debt. I'm worried about paying my electric bill. And they helped me out by capping it at $300 a month. That sounds great until they start, making more and more controls and making more and more things, because you're dependent now on the government for that subsidy to live your life. So whether it's universal basic income, whether it's a central bank digital currency, whether it's an energy subsidy, all those things matter. And that's why you need to have independence from their financial systems, not an economic system, their financial systems, which is why we're doing this event in Dallas, and why you need precious metals, and you need cryptocurrency, and you need to control your own house so you're not dependent upon the government to control your heat. And then next will be food and how much food you can buy, or how far you can drive. They will track you. If you wind up with an app, let's just play what if. Let's just say there's an app that you need to get all these things from the government: universal basic income, CBDCs. They'll put social tracking and credit scores and all that other stuff on there. If you don't comply, they can shut you off. And they can also track how far you go. For example, what if they track and say, hey, you can't go more than 10 miles from where you live because you don't have enough, there's not enough gas in that town for you to drive around. Or maybe you can't drive at all. You have to go take a government backed Uber or something. I'm just saying the more control and more control we give up and ask for help from the government, the more control that they take from us, which reduces our liberty and freedom. So to get liberty and freedom, you need to escape their systems as much as possible, and we need to be prepared and not scared. So we hope to see you down in Dallas, either virtually or live, so we can talk about these kinds of things. Not only what we're preparing to talk about right now, but as other things pop up, and we have slots there to do ask me anything questions, and we're also going to have that live the follow-on live AMA to ask more questions, and we're going to be able to, Dylan, myself, and Patrick are all going to provide ways to continue the conversation amongst us and amongst the group, because we need to get together and talk about what we're seeing and how we can not only survive but thrive in this new controlled environment that they're trying to create for us. So I'd love to hear your comments down below. Love to see that you're coming to Dallas or being able to attend virtually. Leave a comment below, like, share, and subscribe. That helps us out and helps out the event, get us talking about it. So with all that said, I want to close the door on the bureau, say follow leader one more time. I will talk to you soon. Take care.